Hello, folks. We have just reached 20,000 feet, so I'm going to let you get up and stretch those legs. Your steward will be about in a minute and just bring you some beverages. If you look to your left, you can see the Grand Canyon, the largest canyon in the United States, 277 miles long, 18 miles wide, and bigger than the state of Rhode Island. And if you look to your right, you can see a portal opening up to another reality. Looks like a small hut is emerging. Instead of plummeting to the ground, it appears to be held aloft by two enormous chicken wings. But that's the work of a master artificer. And if you zoom in with your phone, you can just make out the nearest window. You can see that the hut is larger on the inside. Hope the doctor won't be too litigious. And is that a gnome cleric inside? Looks like he's got a magic axe with uncertain alliances and a ward of the rocky persuasion. And a sorcerer, what a handsome devil he is, with a strong mental connection to that hut, both of which recently gained the ability to fly. And there you can see a Kenku rogue still seems to be upset about his inability to fly. Hope he isn't too quick with those poison daggers. And as the hut angles, you can just make out a barbarian half-orc feeding her pet lizard. I can't tell who's happier, her or that darn lizard. And you can just make out that tiefling warrior. Gosh, that's an impressive sword and an ugly cloak. I'd sure be intimidated by that. Well, folks, we seem to be hitting some turbulence, so I'm going to go ahead and put on that seatbelt light back on. Hopefully we won't get sucked into the Dungeons and Dragons world like that one cartoon from the 80s. Remember that? We can't leave uni. All right, looks like your drinks are coming up. Wave goodbye to the chicken hut and wish them luck. They're going to need it.
Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 1, Sif. Oh my goodness. After you just nailing that I can't do the intro I've done for 4 years. Unbelievable.
Beautiful work.
Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 117, Light of Death. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovable Dungeon Master, Michael Corley, and with me tonight, doing the wonderful rendition of a pilot seeing something strange, is James. James, tell us who you will be playing.
Hey, doodly, everybody. My name's James. I'm going to be playing Penton Chalice, a spell scale sorcerer. Boom.
You are now free to wander about the realms.
Yeah.
And also with us tonight, quick with the poison, is Lee. Lee, tell us who you will be playing.
Okay, everybody.
Wow.
And I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, it's just an aside. It is swelteringly muggy right now. It is attempting to rain, and I am dripping with goo. Why am I dripping with goo? So I apologize. My brain is a little scattered. G'day, everybody. My name is Lee, and I will be playing Distant Bells, a feathered companion who is just a teensy bit jealous that he can't fly, but everybody else around him seems to be able to.
Pretty sure Tix is going to gain the ability in this episode. And also with us tonight, speaking of Tix, is Dare. Dare, let's tell us.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am Dare, and I am playing Tix Birchmanson, your larger-than-life gnome cleric.
Wonderful. And also with us, with frosty powers and sunny disposition, is Riley. Riley, let's tell us who.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a fighter tiefling.
Wonderful. And when we last left our folks, they had reached a conclusion of sorts with the adventure in Timberspire, where they rescued the artificer Prognati from an ice devil, and also from terrible dreams. He gave them some very good advice, telling them that he believed that the other half, the true half, of the Staff of Seraphim was in Kelimvor. And he went and gave them some upgrades, including the ability that Audrey 3, their chicken hut, can now fly. And they are now soaring through the air. You were in the far, far north, so you are now flying south and a little to the west as you are heading to the grand city of Kelimvor, which is on the very northern tip of the Sand Swallow Sea. So still quite some ways away from Masgate, or from where you left in the Kingdom of Beltrain. In fact, the only one of y'all who has ever been to Kelimvor is Penton, because he was on the quest to find the staff originally, and y'all did not go through the Sand Swallow Sea, but took the land route. So guided by you guiding Audrey, and also Tix, who your nautical knowledge is coming in very handy here, is reckoning by the stars and things like that. Y'all are making extremely good time through the skies. As you are making your way through the skies, is there anything anyone wants to do? You've got just a little bit of downtime for once, where nothing is trying to kill you at the moment. Is there anything anyone would like to do?
Well, yes. Gonna work on organizing the new decorations, housewares inside of Audrey 3 that we got up in the north, and work on cleaning that up and getting to know Distant Bells a little bit better, and cooking some food for everybody, maybe sharing a little bit of beer between everyone.
Wonderful. And we have established that there is a chimney inside of Audrey, so you can do some of that cooking. What would be something that, setting aside, you have all the normal things, and certainly the people of Timberspire, while those frost elves are, as I said, not particularly nice people, they are very grateful to y'all and stocked you up nice and good. Just what's one dish that Tix would make for the party?
Famous recipe from someplace that I've never visited, but I had heard about, some spiced potatoes from the Inn of the Last Home.
Oh, very, very popular. And they do grow a very certain kind of potato that grows in the north, in the icy north, that they grow underground in a very special way. It's actually quite tasty as y'all are trying it. And as you are grabbing for some of the things, you notice that there are quite a few little pouches and things near Distant Bells that he has close to. And I don't know if you want to inquire about those or not.
If it comes up in general conversation, sure.
Okay. Well, just, they might be spices. They might be incense. They might be something interesting like that. You're actually not sure what they are.
Yeah. So, I invite him over and show him what I'm doing, and ask him general questions about what he likes to eat, and then if he'd like to try some of the spiced potatoes, and is he familiar with these spices, since he seems to have traveled so much.
Bells takes a keen interest in the cooking. He's not one for cooking much. He gets by, but he's mainly a forager more than anything else, or he buys his food. He's not strictly vegetarian, but kind of just prefers it. So yeah, he'll take a keen interest, but he's slightly mentally distracted. And in between all this, he's kind of transferring items from his old backpack to his new one.
And that is quite a process, because the single time that you forget to pet the top, interesting things can happen. So it certainly keeps you on your toes.
Indeed.
And the other thing is there a particular poison that you want to try applying to your dagger?
Since I didn't get any reference things from the DM about what poisons and stuff that I ever actually ended up getting, then no, not right now.
Okay, we'll get back to that in a little bit. Just wanted to clarify.
Yep, no, that's fine.
Just so you know, Athora, you have not had any of those weird dreams in several nights.
Okay.
You just seem to be, whatever that is either leaving you alone, either like it can't reach you, or it doesn't think you need any help right now. You're not sure what that is. Is there like a regimen that you do as a fighter, either in maintaining your weapons or calisthenics or anything like that?
I guess so. I mean, she has her routine exercises, and she likes to make sure her sword's clean.
Definitely see her cleaning her sword to a polished shine because it has been blackened by blood quite a few times. And as you're polishing your armor, you also re-notice that there is a emblazoned sigil on the arm section. You've never actually tried to use that spell, but you know that it is an option for you. And finally, Penton, your connection to Audrey has grown even stronger. By the way, y'all are hundreds of feet up in the air right now, making very good time, crossing over the countryside.
Please don't remind Bells.
Yes, you see just constantly two couples on carpets are just flying by singing. It's very, very annoying. Just nonstop, like every half hour.
I can show you the world.
And, Bells could always just hang out the front door and just be like, "I'm king of the birds."
Or I could toss ticks out the door.
Also an option. So you do have an even greater connection to that, and you do notice that Audrey's vision is sort of increased now that she's flying. You can see further, and you can also see slightly more than just that radar sense that you did before. But it's interesting, just the level of connection that you have for her.
Would you say it's more of like an eagle eye view, or like a 360 kind of like just all around vision, or just trying to plan ahead in case something comes up?
Yeah. So what you find, it's almost like kind of Superman-esque in that if you sort of focus, it can turn into an eagle eye, and with that, it's forward facing.
Okay.
So it's like as if you were an eagle looking down, before you, or you can shift back into the radar sense. And then the radar sense is 360 degree, but it does not have details.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it does allow you to see miles and miles away while you are flying, which is kind of important. As y'all make your way, you can hear the first sounds of thunder in the distance.
Well, we can either go up or we can land. I would think those two things would be preferable. Either be above the storm or weather it out below. But I don't think we want to be flying through clouds full of lightning.
You do see, it would be relatively easy to just ascend over the clouds. It's not like some, horrifying gale storm, but definitely there are thunderstorms ahead.
Let me just roll for a second to do a fortitude save. I feel like even though Bells is trying to, and he would really like his own flight back, he's kind of not used to flying. So that's okay. He rolled a 7 on the fortitude, so he's not feeling very. He's feeling a little queasy, a little airsick, perhaps. He's trying not to show it, but his preference would probably be to land. But that's just him.
Well, do you communicate that?
It's not like it can turn green or anything.
Exactly. He's going to try and tough it out, but he's really not feeling very well. He's going to move away from the kitchen. Smells. He might dig into his own head and find like a mild toxin, if anything, that might make him feel better, or maybe no, he'll find a soporific to knock himself out so he can sleep through it.
Okay.
So you're going to do the B.A. Baracus route from 18.
Nobody's going to get me to fly.
Yeah.
Here, have some nice warm milk.
Ooh. And you can have it back in a couple minutes.
Exactly. Bells is lactose intolerant.
So you begin to ascend slightly over the clouds, and as you ascend over the clouds, you can see something magical happening.
Oh.
Fun. You see a point of blue light, and it goes across, goes across, goes across again and again and again until it makes a pentagram.
Oh.
And then that creates a circle, which then opens up, and a portal opens up in the sky.
Oh.
Thank God I went to sleep.
So I'm going to allow this Distant Bells. Have you taken that yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So,
He's really not feeling very well. He's the best option to make sure that nobody else can see it is to try and sleep through it. So he will take something that will knock himself out pretty quickly. So yeah, he won't see this. He will not see this.
So just so y'all know, the way that Audrey flies is literally imagine Audrey and imagine those wings opening up. That means that the front of Shack is actually facing not straight downwards, but like at a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Now, again, the inside does not directly correlate to that. Y'all are mostly upright and with very little sense of movement. In fact, even less sense of movement than when you walked. It's sort of just like a slow, like a hum almost while Audrey is flying. But if you were to open the front door, you would be facing sort of down.
Right.
If you can imagine. Now, there are also windows, at least 2. So just so you know, you've got that option as well. And this portal opens up, and a creature comes out of it. Comes a slithering, sliming out.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yikes.
I want you to imagine a slug. Now, bigger. 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 Yeah, that big.
What did you do, Ray?
What did you do? Who thought of the Stay Puffed Slug Man? A giant slug-like creature comes slithering out of the portal and immediately plummets down to its... No, it is actually flying. It is undulating and flying, and there are creatures on the slug. By the way, you, Penton, see this. As it comes through the portal, some of those creatures fall off.
Oh.
So you don't know if whatever was coming through was expecting to be in the air or not, or if these people were just, incautious. But some of them, you can't actually hear them, but you imagine.
Wait, is this the Jatari coming through a portal?
That is a really good guess. These are not the Chitauri. No. These have not been punched by any Hulks. That's actually a pretty good, since they were big worm-like creatures. But this one definitely looks like a big slug. But except that it does have an armored back. It does have the giant, eye stalks. And you think that it might even be furry? From this distance, but yeah, you think it might be.
Now, when you say big, are we talking like bus, ship?
Ship size.
Okay.
Yeah, ship sized. Mm-hmm. That is a good analogy.
And about how far away from this are we? Like a mile?
Right now, it's about several hundred feet away from you.
Okay. Straight ahead?
Yeah.
I recommend to Audrey veering either left or right to avoid going through said slug / portal.
Give me a Arcana check with your bonus for your control of Audrey, which you always have, but this is for a skilled maneuver.
Yep. 26.
26. So just like TIE fighter like just bank, and suddenly you're banking to the side. The slug does change direction to course keep with you, but it does not do as well. It is somewhat losing ground, and that's when you see a couple of the figures leap off, and they are like paragliding towards you.
Guys, we have incoming.
And I need everyone to roll for initiative. And Penton, what did you get?
That would be 12. A 12.
12. And Athora?
24.
24 for Athora. And for Mr. Sleepyhead?
Sorry, math. 26.
26. Okay.
But I'm asleep.
And that you are currently asleep, but I do want to put you in the order. And for Tix?
A whole 3.
And Tix gets... All right. So, distant bells. You can certainly hear people scattering and such and moving about quickly. Do you want to try to wake up? What
Nope.
would you like to try to do?
Nope.
Okay, you are fast asleep right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll skip you for right now. Is there anything particular you're dreaming of?
Sorry?
Is there anything particular you're dreaming of?
Yes. Scenario.
What's that?
You don't remember my backstory at all, do you?
Oh, sorry. Well, I am tragically bad with names, so I
Fine.
forgot. Even though I produced that backstory, which is fantastic. If any of y'all missed it, go back and listen to it. It's wonderful. Distant Bells' backstory.
Oh my god, that's exactly... Wow, that's really well done.
Yeah,
Okay.
I drew that real quick. No, I didn't image search Sleeping Kinku at all. I drew that.
That's great. Yeah, no, he's dreaming of Scenario. His lost partner who gave him his daggers.
Yes, who we gave his daggers, and there's also perhaps a slip of undergarment somewhere on his person. We're not going to say whether or not there is.
Perhaps, maybe.
So, Athora, Penton, what are I assuming you're relaying to people what is going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Athora, it is actually your turn. There are 2 windows. There is the front door. There is a hundreds of feet drop to your certain death. What would you like to do?
I go to the door and open it. See what's outside.
Okay.
Get a better look.
So when you open the door, I'm not going straight TARDIS rules here, guys. So I just want you to know that it's not like this is like TARDIS stuff, but you do like absolutely. The wind is not hitting you as hard as it should be. That clearly something about the magic of Audrey is because otherwise, when you open the door, like it should have just blown you back inside. You do feel the wind, and it is flapping against you, but it's just like a stiff breeze as opposed to like, knocking you over. And you can see 2 figures just sort of like gliding down towards Audrey from above. They are humanoid, but they are definitely not human.
Okay. We've got incoming 2 figures. Do we want to land? Have a fight in the air? What's the plan?
I really don't think we should get in a ground fight with a giant slug. So I think we should make a run for it. Penton, can you goose Audrey a little bit?
Well, she's kind of new at this, but I'll see what we can do.
You think that if you really concentrate that you can make her go faster, but that may require a good deal of attention on your part.
Right. Yeah, I'll kind of just kind of keep the radar sense up just to kind of keep track of where these 2 incoming figures are and try and make our way past them. And maybe if we can outrun them, you never know.
Okay.
They are just gliding after all.
your turn is about to come up, but actually one of the figures is first, and it slams onto Audrey, and y'all can all feel Audrey shudder. And Thora, who's leaning out the door, a head leans over to you and hisses at you. It is a lizard man, however, it is not the lizard folk that you know from the Penta Plains. This is actually a different kind, like a velociraptor type of humanoid known as the Kenori. And you were actually not with this wonderful band of adventurers when they last encountered the Kenori, when they were all turned into animals. And this is one of the black scale. That is something that I constantly got wrong back and forth. However, the white scale are the horrible overlords of these creatures, and the black scale are the ones that are kept in check by them, that are sort of like the military. And it is going to throw a bottle at you, Athora. And it rolls a total of 10.
Woo!
So it flings past you, and with that poor roll, it doesn't even hit Audrey. It just sails into the ether. And
feel sorry for some poor farmer down below.
Yeah, well, right now in a little farm, someone is like, if I stole that, may I melt into the ground? And then a bottle hits them on the head, and they melt into a puddle of goo. And then everyone in that village became very religious after that. So that will actually bring it to you, Penton.
Okay. So let's maneuver. Let's see what we can do to get her cooking along a little faster and get away from these guys. I assume an Arcana check is in order.
Please do.
All right. 29.
29. So, y'all, like I said, you don't really feel the movement too much, but then suddenly, it's like in every movie when the turbo boost gets hit. You all kind of like, as Audrey just, boom, boom. Like first she kind of dives and then uses that momentum to accelerate and moves forward. She also is moving a little bit closer to the clouds, but is not quite in them yet. But she is heading. Now, this thing was ahead of y'all, so she's banking to the side and trying to avoid it. It is trying to veer towards her, but she is booking it. However, doing that maneuver does take your turn.
Right.
In order to control her that directly. The second Kenori slams onto Audrey from the back. And that is a little bit better. Comes crashing through one of the windows, which y'all have replaced, which is very annoying. Comes crashing through the window and hurls down a bottle, and a thick vapor begins to spread throughout Audrey. And I need everyone to make a fortitude saving throw.
I'm going to make a 5-2 saving throw.
That's even better.
16 for Penton.
Okay.
13 for Athora.
Okay.
24 for Tix.
24 for Tix. And the Kinku, who is laying on the ground and asleep, cannot save.
He got a 5
Kinku,
anyway.
Well, there you go. Distant Bells, you are deep in your sleep, and you are thinking of her, and you're thinking of your time together. You're reaching out to her, and suddenly a mace comes down, and her face just vanishes. Her face just vanishes. She is dead. She is absolutely, completely dead from this attack. And this hulking figure is standing over her with blazing red eyes. And it just goes, and then a smoke comes out, and you start to gag. As you sputter awake, and you take 8 points of acid damage as it scalds the inside of your lungs.
Lovely.
And that will actually bring it to wait, I missed you, Tix. I apologize. So let's go to your turn.
Okay. How close is the slug?
So now it would be about 100 feet away because y'all were coming towards it, but then you banked to the side.
Okay. Tix is going to cast blindness on the giant slug.
Okay. Is that a...
That is a fortitude negates.
Okay. It rolls a 1.
Oh.
Yay!
So what happens is you can actually see those eye stalks that are moving about suddenly just like pull back in, and it screams. Like there is this horrendous like, and it begins thrashing left and right. And I need to make a few. At least 3 of the creatures riding on the back are thrown off as it bucks, and they plummet to their death as the farmers below say, like, oh, if only we could have more money for our crops, and then just boom, 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 and like little coin purses fall out, and they go, yeah. So it's very effective, and as you might think, the eye stalks of a giant slug are perhaps one of its weak spots. Let us say
One would hope.
One would hope. So that was extremely effective, just so you know. And Distant Bells, you have now awoken. You are still groggy, so you are currently at a disadvantage for your attacks and stuff as you wake up. But you are definitely awake as you inhaled acid. And it is your turn.
I'm going to assume I have no idea what's going on right now, so...
No, you have no idea what's going on.
What do I see around me? Obviously, my companions are on edge, but I don't know what for.
Yes, the only thing different that you see, other than this dissipating cloud of acid that is stinging your eyes as well, is this velociraptor-looking humanoid who is, standing next to the crashed window and hissing.
Okay. In that case, now's as good a time as any to test out this new gadget thing that I've got with my daggers.
Okay.
So I'm going to, toss one of my daggers. Unfortunately, I do not get my poison bonus because I have not loaded them, as it were. So it's just going to be a standard thrown dagger attack.
Okay, go ahead and give that a roll.
Okay. Oh, thank God for my dex, huh? 19 plus 5. How far away is he?
He's very close. He's, less than 10 feet away.
So I don't get a range penalty. That's 24 to hit.
Okay, that is definitely...
And since they count as... I guess I'll find out when I hit if he has a magical resistance. That was actually a lot more. There's attack bonus that puts it into... Yeah, it hit anyway. That's 4 points of damage.
You do 4 points of damage, and since as we did not discuss, I'm going to use a standard poison attack for this.
Okay.
So he needs to make a fortitude save, and he rolls a 7, even with his bonus. So for the first time with these daggers, you fling it, and it catches him right in the stomach, and you can actually see the little poison spreading into his scales.
Nice.
And he will take maximum damage. He takes 10 points of poison damage.
Is there anything I need to do? Like, do I need to make a wrist movement or something to get the dagger to come back? Or does
You're
it?
not. Well, you've practiced with it, but yes, it is basically like kind of almost like the Force is just like a gesture. Or
Oh,
if you
okay.
do nothing after a few rounds, it will return to you.
Well, I'll make the gesture then as a free action.
Okay. Yep. And
And that'll be my
the
turn.
dagger disappears from him, but the poison does not. He will need to make another Fortitude save next round.
Nice.
And that will actually bring it to the first Kiori. Kinori. He is going to try to grab you, Athora, and pull you out of Audrey.
Oh boy.
He's going to try to grapple you. And he gets. So I'd like to do this as an opposed roll. So I want you to roll and add your strength bonus.
Okay. 19.
He got a 17.
Haha.
So he rolled very well, but he can't quite, and he sees your, you are beefy, but you're still, a tiefling, and he grabs and he thinks he's going to just yoink you out, and then he's like, oh, you just kind of don't move because you've been doing all those calisthenics and everything, and you just hold yourself in place. So he's going to use his second attack, and he's going to try to bite you. And he rolls a 2 because it's my dice. And it just clanks against your breastplate, and he cannot make purchase. And he actually kind of stumbles a little bit as he's holding on. And that will bring it to you, Athora.
Okay, can I draw my sword and just stab at him, try and throw him off the hut?
You sure can. Now, trying to throw him off is a different move than stabbing him, but you could certainly try to stab him.
Stabbing works.
Okay.
No, that's a natural 1. Not today.
Oh,
Okay.
oh boy!
Go ahead and roll those percentage dice.
Don't drop
This
your
would be
sword.
A really
Don't
bad
fall out
time
of the
to roll
hut.
100.
The 2 zeros, and I roll the other
And-
one.
That's 100.
Well, no. Well, 2 zeros is the one die. What, did you roll both dice?
Not yet. I was trying to make
Okay,
sure that's what I do.
Okay.
Yes,
well, yeah.
roll
Then you
both
roll the
dice.
other one and hope you don't roll a 0.
It's a 9.
Whew.
Okay, so that is a
It's a
90.
9.
No, it's a
Or no,
it's a
that's
9.
I'm
That's
sorry.
a 9, yeah.
So nothing happens. Nothing happens. You just miss. Okay.
Okay. Second attack.
This would be a really bad time for a 100. But,
We're gonna switch
Or
D20s
95.
and try again.
that's going into D20 jail.
Nah. 13.
13, unfortunately, he will not hit. He is quite nimble as he's kind of switching hands and everything out here. He doesn't seem to have a weapon, though he does have a bandolero with some vials on them. And that will bring it to you, Penton.
Okay. So we have a recently stabbed lizard man in the room, and Thora seems to be fighting something outside. Now seems like a good time to do something. I'm going to throw a volley of magic missiles at the internal lizard.
The one who's inside.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage as distant bells, you sense the energy around you, and they actually go around as they and stick into the chest of this Kinori as it screams and lets out like a raptor like.
I kind of choose to picture it as like the Mandalorian's wrist missiles at this point.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's how magic missiles. They're somewhere between that and that's actually a better analogy because magic missiles don't miss, so they just sort of home in on their target. So that's actually a really good analogy. I like that. And that will bring it to this Kinori, and he is going to pull out another vial, and he screams and he hurls one at you, Distant Bells, and then he's going to hurl another one at you, Penton.
Okay.
And he rolls a 4
Oop.
for the one for you, Distant Bells. Is there any particular way you dodge this little vial thrown at you.
Can I catch it?
You can try. If you fail, it might be bad, but I will absolutely allow it because that's cool.
I will give it a shot.
I mean, you get
Especially since I woke up to this acid crap in my face. I want to know what this is.
Yeah, I mean, technically that's like more like a monk thing, but that's more for like snatching arrows out of the air.
Yes,
I will allow
yes.
you to catch a vial.
I want to try and catch a vial. Ooh. Do I need to add anything? Is it a dexterity addition? Or do you just want the flat?
No,
number?
it's your dexterity bonus, absolutely.
Cool. That's a 23.
Okay. So y'all see as he smashed the first one down and acid spread out try to kill all of you, and this other one comes and you just bing, just nimbly pluck it out of the air. The one good thing about inhaling acid is it sure wakes you up. So you now have a vial of something in your hand, and there's another one coming for you, Penton.
Okay.
He rolls a 18.
Oh, just missed.
Unfortunately missed. So I'm actually going to say, given the
Catch it,
positioning and
Penton.
everything. What's that?
Catch it, Penton!
I don't have quite the dex you do. I'm not going to check. I've got a chance getting a fistful of acid.
Just because I think it's funny, I want this one actually is going to go straight out the door, and both you, Thora, and the lizard just kind of like turn and look as this vial.
little slow motion spin as it goes between them.
Yep. And in the seedier part of that village, this guy's like, "Your money or your life," and then the thing hits him in the eyes, and like his face caves in.
It's like those old urban legends of the planes that would eject stuff from the toilets, the frozen stuff from the toilets.
The blue ice, absolutely. Yes, that's perfect. So those both miss, and that will actually bring it to Tix.
Tix is going to turn his attention to the Kanori in the hut, and what direction is the guidance skull from him?
Well, the guidance skull is closer to the front, so it's not next to him. So you would need to.
Is it 6 feet away?
him.
Is it 5 feet away?
I would say it's about 8 feet away. Yeah.
And he's rather
it's
tall
not-
and lanky.
Yeah. He's probably about 6 feet tall. Very thin, but muscular.
I'm going to cast command on him.
Mm-hmm.
And command him to grab the skull. I'm going to say grab and point at the skull.
I like it. I assume that is a willpower save?
Will negates, yes.
Will negates. Okay. He rolls a 4.
Ooh. Yay.
Sorry about your
so-
essence.
So y'all all watch as this guy, and he's reaching to grab another vial from his bandolero, and he just stops and like robot-like, he stiffly begins walking towards the skull, and you all actually see the skull like start to slowly glow like a dull red as he gets closer, almost as if it's anticipation, and he grabs hold of it and screams as I've seen before, like the end of an Indiana Jones movie. His body desiccates as the blood is drained from him. And Audrey like suddenly pours on a burst of speed. It's just like boom, as it is just thrummed with energy, and the lizard collapses to the floor in a pile of dry bones and skin.
Tix is very satisfied with that move.
That was pretty cool.
And then he pauses
But-
for a moment and goes, Destiny Seeker and I are going to have a talk about his influence on me.
Just a bit!
You hear Destiny Seeker say, "Do not listen to the horned one. He he was exaggerating.
I'm sure. I'm so sure.
And now it is the slug's turn. And now is the part where you're really glad that you blinded the slug, because the slug opens its mouth and vomits acid.
This is a really gross episode.
Yeah.
Yep. But it is. Oh, it rolls. It rolls both. It is at disadvantage because. Well, no, actually, it has a minus, but there's actually a straight up. Okay, so it doesn't. Oh, yeah, it actually rolled pretty well now. However, it's not good enough. I am going to need to get y'all some updated stats. I've never given you the stats of Audrey.
Yeah.
Because I kind of wanted it to be a mystery. But as things have progressed, I'm going to need to get you the full stats now that it's flying and more participatory.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, with the disadvantage of being blinded, it does not roll very well. And so that, y'all see like these just huge, thick, like phlegm-like globules of acid just flying through the air as it's trying to hit you. But it can't because it's blinded. So Tix is definitely MVPing this episode, let me say, with some of those moves, definitely. But speaking of some pretty cool moves that have returned to you, Distant Bells, it is your turn.
Well, my target has committed suicide, so part of me wants to gather up the desiccated skin and bones and add them to
a collection
cloak. Just to make it even more ugly and intimidating.
Perhaps a rattling sound to go with it, clackety clack.
Yeah, exactly. Buzzing of flies over the desiccated skins to make additions. But no. I'll put the new flask in with my poisons collection in an area where I know I'm going to go back and look at it because it's not where they go. So I'll have to take note and figure out what it is. And then... Actually, can I take his bandolero? Did it fall to the floor as well?
It fell to the floor, but it was undamaged because it was not affected by him turning into bones.
I will move that to my poisons collection as well. That could be handy.
Yeah, I wanted to roll a slight chance of one of the vials breaking, but no, it just fell to the ground.
And then I guess I guess the sound of a distraught woman. What's going on?
It was quite a thing to wake up to, but you now mark that you have a bandolero of strange liquids.
Nice.
There are 7 left on there. And that will actually bring it to you, Athora. You still have this Kinori outside trying to gain entrance or otherwise attack
Can
you.
I pull him in? Grapple him in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I'd rather not fall out of Audrey. That's another natural one.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, let's see that percentage roll again.
66?
Both tens.
What's that?
66?
Okay, nothing happens. You just missed.
Awesome.
But you do have 2 attacks.
I'm gonna pull
Nothing.
out a different dice real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Also, now you need to kill all the Jedi.
That is true.
Okay.
Axe
Oh, that's better. I'm still trying to grapple him in. Is that okay? Or do I need to attack with my sword?
No.
Okay,
You get 2 attacks.
That's a 23 to pull him in.
23. Okay. Now, I did give him the option. You did get an opposed roll when he tried to grab you. So he's going to try to oppose. And he gets a 18, which is not going to do it. So you grab him and he comes flying inside with your attack. You are both inside.
Great.
Now, and it is actually his turn. And he is going to try and bounce off you. And he kind of glances around for a bit. He sees the desiccated corpse of his compatriot, and he is going to try to flee. And so, Athora, actually, you will get a attack of opportunity.
Cool. Let's try and stab him.
Okay.
That's a 16 to hit.
That will hit.
Great.
That will hit.
Okay. 7 points of damage? Or 14, sorry.
Okay.
Because I have a +7.
Yeah. You. Okay. Yes. So 14. You literally stab him in the back, but that's because he's running from you. And he boop 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 and leaps out the door. You don't know if he's going to die or not, but he was clearly in some way guided when he was coming towards y'all. So you think he may have some way of protecting himself. But clearly he looked at a room full of powerful fighters, one dead compatriot, and thought, nope! And he leapt outside, and the combat is over.
Okay, what about the slug?
I'm sorry. So the slug is flailing about wildly, and even though you can see they're trying to guide him, they can't because he's blind. Not obviously to give you all too much information. Also, maybe they haven't learned how to control this guy super well, and so they just can't keep up with you. You don't know if at full capacity if the slug would be able to keep up with you or not, but they just can't, and y'all just pull away from them.
Now, here's a question.
Now, obviously, if you want to go back or anything, you can.
Here's a question.
Yes.
What did it seem like was on the other side of this portal as we were going by?
I would like you to make a roll for me.
Okay.
I think this would be just say a spot check.
Okay. Oh, well, then. I guess we'll just fail now. Oh, well, actually, it's not that bad. 14.
14? So that is, you don't get any great details. It was obviously all happening very quickly.
Sure.
But it sure looked a lot like that place where there was the horrible smell.
Right. Oh, yeah, the rotting corpse of a dead god place.
Yes. Now, I will say that you did not see in that brief moment a dead god, any indication of that. But there also was the indication that the dead god had slipped into the astral plane. And you do recall that you, and working with your compatriot, successfully closed that portal, trapping an indeterminate number of Kenori on the other side.
Right. But not well enough, apparently, since they seem to have found another way through.
Yes. And if, say, I don't know, they were somehow able to track y'all and open the portal thinking that they would come riding through and destroy you, and suddenly found themselves up in the middle of the air, might have taken them by surprise a little bit. But yes, it seems like maybe that's what happened.
Okay.
Now the downside is they are still out there, and there is still a giant slug flying through the air.
Yeah, but it's
Some
permanently
village
blinded.
is going to be very, very upset.
What's that?
Some village is going to be very, very upset very soon.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong that, they can land it and they can wreak havoc and, do all kinds of horrible things, but there are horrible things all over this world. So I'm not holding y'all to that. But yes, y'all have successfully escaped for this time the giant acid spewing slug. And that's where we'll end. Chafing Armor, episode 117. Acid aplenty, everyone. That's what I should have called the episode. Good job, everybody.
Thank you for not killing us.
Thank you.
You are most welcome.
I slept most of it, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You actually let me get in some plot stuff there that I wanted to do anyway, so that worked out really nicely. If anyone would like to see y'all socially speaking, what would be one place where they could find y'all on the social medias?
Tix can be found at Dare Imagine on Twitter and Instagram and on Facebook. And you can find us on the Chafing Armor podcast on any podcatcher and on YouTube. And if you're on Apple Podcast, you can go on and throw us a 5-star rating. That'll help us climb to the top so other people can hear our wacky adventures.
Couldn't have said it better myself, and if you do so, I will award you 1 inspiration point. So, just so you know, you all get that. Thank you all for playing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Y'all have a wonderful evening, and we will roll with you soon.